Can you hear me? Can you hear the funky tambura player back there? Ooh. I guess so, because I can hear myself. Oh. You can barely hear me, huh? Well, that's weird. I'm gonna pull this in a little closer. How about now? Any better? I don't know why that would change. Active mono. Yeah, I don't see what else I could do here to change it. I think it kind of undid some of the stuff I did. Let's see if this does anything. Did that change anything? Can you hear me still? Is that any better, or did it change at all, or no? Yes. I can check, because I don't know which one. There's video capture device and mic aux. And I know I shut one of these off when it was better at one point. And then now it turned to... Yeah, how's that? Is this the best one? Or was it better the way I just had it? Okay, we're just going to leave it like that. I'm just going to wait till 10 after, see if anybody comes. I didn't make that little blurby thing until last night, so the thing that lets people know that there's a thing going on. So I don't know how this will do. Did you get a thing this time? Did you see it? Did it tell you? Did it notify you? YouTube is such a party. I think this is what, number 9? Hopefully by 10 I'll have this somewhat ironed out. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Second half of this chapter, and then it gets interesting. And it gets really interesting. This chapter is a little complicated. There's a lot going on there. But after that, I think it'll be fun. Because what I did this week was try to put together all the stuff that we've done. Why is there only part of that there? That's not helpful. Oh, notes, I tell you. go run and grab my other iPad, see if there's anything different on it. Be right back. All right. I made myself a bunch of notes for something to show everybody. And then iCloud only uploaded like half of them. Or I'm sorry, like the first 2 lines. Oh, there they go. They're on this iPad, they showed up. Okay. 6:10. Well, we're gonna roll. Cool. Looks like it's just me and you, Tina. Let's get it done. And make a good recording for everybody else. Cool. Says 2 watching. Well, I don't know who the other one. Maybe it's my electric rose over there, but I shut it down. I was just seeing if it worked. Oh, there we go. Matt's here. What's up, man? How you doing? Hope everything's good over there. I'm about to get going. So, here we go. Dharana Darshan, the second part of chapter 7. This is full of a bunch of crazy. It's just a few pages, and I'm going to go through it for completeness sake. But I think the biggest takeaway here is just how deep that yogis have been going in the past few thousand years in dissecting consciousness and our awareness and how all the different parts of it work together. You know, sometimes it gets a little out of our depth, but the best thing to do at those points is just go, this is a little outside of my experience, but it's good to know that the map is there when I get to a point where I can understand those pieces of the map. Of what's coming in these next few pages, I'm lucky if I've experienced a third of it. A lot of it is outside of my scope. So, I will only be able to answer so many questions. But let's do it, and if you have any, just throw them up while I'm going. I'll continue to look down this way. Hey Mia, how you doing? Good to see you here. I'm glad you made it. Okay, like I said, hang tight. This is only a few pages. This is the second half of this chapter. And then what I'm going to do after this is, for the practice this week, is I'm going to tie a bunch of things together, a bunch of techniques that I've already given, because it's been all kind of piecemeal, and I'm sure everybody at this point is like, all this stuff he's throwing at me, I don't know what to do with it all. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to wrap that up into one whole practice so that you can see what it might be like to just do that on a daily basis and how to integrate them all, and what I think is really the best ordering of them so that they all support each other as it progresses, right? Okay, so let's get through the second chapter of this, and then the next chapter starts to get really interesting. That's where we start to get into more practices and the beginnings of actual dharana beyond what we've just learned from the practices I've showed you. Okie doke. All right, let's move on. Part 2 of chapter 7 of Dharana Darshan by the good Swami Niranjananda Saraswati. Vyoma Panchaka Dharana, the 5 subtle spaces. After Chidakasha, Hridayakasha, and Dharakasha, the 3 gross spaces, we come to Vyoma Panchaka, the 5 subtle spaces. Now, whenever you hear anything that starts with Panch, it means 5 something. Vyoma means space, and Panchaka means 5. The experience of these 5 subtle spaces is in the realm of the unconscious and beyond. Dharakasha, Hridayakasha, and Chidakasha are experienced in the conscious and subconscious. These 5 mental spaces, which are collectively known as Vyoma Panchaka, consist of Guna Rahita Akasha, Paramakasha, Mahakasha, Tattvakasha, and Suryakasha. Now repeat that back to me. Guna Rahita Akasha is the attributeless space. Guna means attribute or quality, Rahita means without, and Akasha means space. The final experience in this Akasha, taken literally from the scriptures, is that in the morning a complete ring of sunlight or flame of fire is seen. This description gives some idea of what Guna Rahita Akasha is. It is seen that after one has passed through the experiences of the three spaces and beyond the conscious and subconscious planes of life, then in the unconscious level, the prajna purusha or prajna identity is perceived as a luminous body. A ring of fire or of sunlight representing the luminous body is beyond the known attributes of the manifest physical and mental dimensions. It is beyond the realm of the physical and mental gunas. Maintaining this vision or visual experience for an extended period is the experience of Guna Rahita Akasha. The vision of prajna is not involuntary vision. It is vision. Imagine those or we in the case of voluntary experience. Again, it's just inspiration make us for we are. It's advice for another thing that respect. Dark twinkling light. A state in which absent cognition knowledge in the tiny of light. It is not expanded awareness, but a fixed, luminous point of awareness. From this, a meditative process has been developed, which is known as shunya meditation. There comes a point after this where there is a total absence of external and internal awareness, and only undifferentiated awareness is active. That state is the experience of Paramakasha. Para means super, therefore this is the super space. Mahakasha is described as bright like the middle of the sun, which no eye can see. You cannot see the brilliance of the sun by going into the middle of it. This shunya state is evolving. Initially there was total darkness with just a point of light, and that represented awareness. The recognition of that point of light is drashta, observing the awareness. But here the merger of drashta with that awareness takes place so that the whole personality is engulfed by total awareness. It is like being in the center of the sun, surrounded by brilliance and light. That is known as Maha, the Great. And you'll often hear Maha as prefixes to a lot of these Sanskrit terms, and it always means the greater version of something. Tattvakasha is the element of space. Tattva means element, but here the experience is not of the five gross elements we know as earth, water, fire, air, and ether, but of the seed or essence from which the elements are germinated. In this space, the tattvas exist in a dormant state. There is no activity, no motion which is expanding outwards. It is perfect stillness or quietness, where each faculty is centered on its own being, so there is no action, nor is there any seed which creates action in the form of desire. In this space, the concept of duality has vanished. All the experiences relating to name, form, and idea have disappeared. Space and but it changes. Is the visible space or considered of law, festival and objective scene, space, reality, illuminated or a form. These are chop subtle it's should mount the kernel wrong stage arm and Okay, anybody out there? I restarted everything. It looked like OBS locked things up, I guess. Anybody out there? Okay, cool. Sweet. Give everybody else a second to make it back. It's a good thing it happened during the most boring part of this transaction here. I wonder what that will do on the recording. I guess there'll just be a blank spot, or... Oh, this spotty thing. We'll get this figured out one day. I apologize for the trouble. I'm working on it. Alright, well, I'm going to continue on. Hope if anybody doesn't make it back, they'll jump right in. Okay, let's start with nada. We're almost done here. We got a page and a half left, and then we're done with this, and we'll move on to our practice outline. Nada, internal sound. Another indication is a hissing sound heard at the time of deep dharana. One hears it, but there is no external source. It comes from the inside. This happens when the Kundalini experience reaches the level of Agnya Chakra, for it is here that the nadas, the sound vibrations, are heard. One can hear many different kinds of sounds internally, such as wind blowing through leaves and branches, crickets, frogs, animals, and human sounds, or things that sound like that. I have experienced this sound, and I do regularly when I'm meditating. Yoga recognizes 10 types of nada or internal sounds, which are acknowledged as the milestones of Kundalini awakening at Agnya Chakra, Agnya being the third eye. These are given in order as follows: the sound of a fizzling sparkler, 2, a distant flute, 3, a large bell, 4, a conch, 5, a lute, 6, cymbals, 7, a veena, 8, pouring rain, 9, a double drum, 10, thunderclouds. How we doing out there? Everybody still getting this? Let me know if you're still hearing me. While hearing the flute music, many people have seen the darkness of Chitakasha change to different bright flashing colors. There have also been people who could reproduce these vibrant colors in beautiful artworks, or the flute music into celestial and enchanting compositions. Cool. Blue light. The final indication is seeing the blue light at the Agnya Chakra, the eyebrow center, and at Anahata Chakra, the heart center. This blue light, which appears in the psychic experience or the Kundalini experience, represents the fulfillment of the Akasha experience. Seeing this blue light signifies that you've gone as far as this technique can take you, and that you're ready to move on to the next stage. This is the completion of Antar Lakshya Dharana, which is subtle psychic concentration and holding the mind to an inner experience and having darshan of it, not just imagination. And that is the end of chapter 7 of Dharana Darshan. The next week is Yogic and Tantric Dharana. This is where we start with some of the actual practices in here, and they're expecting that you can sit for a little while still, so just keep that in mind and try to get more and more stillness as you're practicing. Okay, so now what we're going to do, I've missed a couple of weeks of practice with you guys. What we're going to do this week is a little more serious. Everything we've done is I've just all thrown at you, one thing after another, right? So now we're going to put that stuff all together. Now when you're doing this on your own, obviously you don't have to take your time like this, and it will be much quicker when you're on your own than what it's about to be right now, okay? So the first thing we want to do when we sit down to practice, in my estimation, is a bow, right? What we're trying to do with that, it doesn't have to be weird, first of all. It doesn't have to be, I know people get crazy about a lot of these things, but I suggest that you put all that stuff aside and just let it go and just work with stuff for a while before you bring your feelings too heavily into it. Just try it, and see what it does to you. None of this stuff is going to hurt you. So what you're doing there is you're just trying to recognize and feel your connection with everything. And I know that sounds woo and it sounds yogi, but science is only proving more and more that that is the case. I believe it's the latest issue of Popular Mechanics talks about how scientifically we've proven that we are kind of all with everything on a quantum level. So if that weirds you out, it might be something worth looking into, but there's truth to it. And it's good, it's positive. Feel that, try to feel that thing around you, because it does, it surrounds you. You're just the way a fish doesn't know it's in water. We're in another kind of substance the same way they are that we don't recognize as well. And that's what we're trying to kind of open ourselves up to, right? The space around us and our relationship to that. So don't make it weird. Just do what it is that feels good to you. It could be internal. You could do an internal bow. You could do an external bow. You could do like I do, go right to the altar and put myself all the way down. And I respect everybody from my parents to the highest divinity that you can imagine, all in one shot, right? So, and just really recognize your connectedness and give thankfulness for this opportunity to grow. And you will find that you'll grow that much faster. It really, over the years, I've felt the more I reach up, the more something reaches down. And look at that how you will. But try not to get weird about it. That's really the thing, right? That's the big deal here, as far as I'm concerned. Because if there's any kind of emotional weirdness about it, it's just not even worth doing. And then if that's the case, then just skip the bow altogether, right? But if it comes from the heart, do it. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. The next thing we do is the chakra mala. This is what I would do. And if you remember the chakra mala, it's something that we've done through probably about 4 or 5 of the meditations that we've done. But we just go through all of the chakras and we just sit in them with our focus for a few seconds on each one. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Sit up nice and straight, close your eyes. If you need to open your eyes to see where I'm pointing for the chakras, that's fine. But just overall, just relax yourself as best you can. Bring your focus to the very top of your head. Just hold it there. Your Sahasrara chakra, very top of the head, soft spot from the baby. Remember all this? Pull yourself up like this. Make sure you're not slouching at all. Spine straight. Now here's something really, really integral too. You've got most of your focus up at the top of your head. This is what I want you to do. I want you to keep that same amount of focus up at the top of the head. But I also want you to enable some focus down at the Muladhara chakra, all the way at the bottom. That might seem weird, it might feel weird, but this is what this teaches you really quick. There is no limit to consciousness. You can expand infinitely. Whatever focus you have at the top of your head, you don't have to remove any to get some more focus somewhere else in your body. You can just simply establish that focus somewhere else in your body. The more you practice this, the more it will seem obvious and simple, and will also prove to you your ability to expand. So just try right now, keep your focus at the top of your head and just expand to that lowest chakra, the Muladhara, down by the perineum. See, not so hard, right? Think about this. How many people do you see play instruments and sing at the same time, right? All we're trying to do is touch 2 points with our focus. We're not trying to do 2 entirely different things, right? There's anything that people do 2 things at the same time. You know, people playing basketball, running around dribbling a basketball, you know, getting ready to take a shot, and all the 6,000 things they're doing at the same time. It's possible, right? They're expanding their consciousness to do those things. That's what we're doing here. And just keep that focus up at the top, but also that focus down at the bottom. And just focus on that bottom center for a few seconds through a few deep breaths. You know, I'd say when you're on your own, just take like 3 deep breaths, slow, long, and deep. Okay? Then I want you to just gradually slide your focus up your spine about 6 inches up. This is the sacral chakra, right? While keeping that focus at the top of the head if you can. I know it might seem weird and a little bit tough, but it's okay. You'll get it. And the same thing, 3 breaths right at that sacral chakra, right? It's right behind the genitals or in that area. Start to let everything go. Don't take the silliness of everyday life into this, right? This is between you and your higher self, if you want to look at it that way, or God, if that makes sense to you, or your holy guardian angel, whatever thing it is that feels comfortable to you, just look at it that way. On your next exhale, just shoot up 6 inches more, and now we're going to be in the spine right behind the belly button. Belly chakra, right? Navel chakra, all the many names for it. Manipura. In the spine, right behind the belly button. And we call this chakra mala because we're using the spine just like a mala, right? Instead of using beads on a necklace, we're just using all of our chakras in the same way. 3 slow, long, deep breaths. Over time, the more you do this stuff, you should be trying to lengthen your breath a little bit too. Your lungs are going to be able to expand more the more you do this. You'll be able to retain your breath for a longer time. Just slowly feel yourself expanding, contracting, and just try to broaden it a little bit over time. It doesn't happen fast, but just keep trying a little bit. Don't force any of this stuff. None of it. It's just we grow at the pace we grow at. Just the fact that you're working with this is increasing the speed of your evolution by a lot. That's plenty. We don't need to push through like a bodybuilder on this. That is not what we're doing, right? We're learning to accept. We're learning to be. On your next exhale, I want you to follow up your spine until you get to your heart center, anahata, unstruck sound. It's in the center on your spine, not where your actual heart is off to the side, right? 3 breaths, so long, deep, at the heart center. While also trying to maintain that focus at the top of the head. Now on your next exhale, I want you to follow your spine up with your focus to the throat center. Down at the base of the neck, still in the spine. Try to maintain the focus at the top of the head. Breathe into the throat, so long, deep, at least 3 times. When you're doing this on your own, this can go so much quicker, but you're free to spend more time on it too. This is also, you are developing focus here. You're developing your dharana, right? And I just scratched, right? Just try to move as minimally as possible. Only scratch or itch when it's becoming your whole meditation practice, trying not to do that, right? That's the point. You can just do it and get it over with. The only problem with that is when you do one, it tends to go and shoot somewhere else, right? First you're scratching your chin, you scratch that, then you're scratching your shoulder, and then it's in your back. And so try to avoid it if you can. Try to let it go. A lot of times if we focus really deep on whatever our meditation object is, and at this point right now it's the throat center, but if you can focus a little deeper, you can just lose the sensation of that itch. Alright, on the next exhale, I want you to follow straight up from that throat center into your head and into the third eye. Between here and here, the cross section of that, 3 inches in. And breathe slow, long, deep. Over time, you'll start to see light in this center. It'll get lighter and lighter. And you can see all kinds of crazy stuff. But don't worry about any of that. Experiences come. When that first experience comes, it's going to blow you away. You're going to go, holy smokes. All this craziness I've been doing is actually doing something. And it's going to motivate your practice into the stratosphere. Until then, things are a little wishy-washy. And I get it. I went through that. Just keep trying. Have faith. Trust. We want to know what we are. We're not just a bag of meat on a planet waiting to die. That is not what we are. That is not what it is. That is not what this life experience is about. This life experience is so rich and deep. How could it just be about that? On the next exhale, I want you to follow up to the top of your head, back of the Sahasrara chakra, And you should meet up with your focus that's been there the whole time, maybe, right? If not, just keep working towards that. Breathe in slow, long, deep there for three breaths. And that's it. That's it for the chakra mala. You've completed the bow. You've completed the chakra mala, right? One more activity and we're halfway there. I've showed you a number of body scans and healing scans and things like that. We did the Manuka honey thing, and then we had just a straight up body scan. You know, it doesn't matter. Pick one you love and do it, or bounce around with them. But this is the point where you want to do a body scan, right? We're trying to get the whole entire body relaxed. We've established where the chakras are. We've kind of magnetized those centers, so as we work with them, it's easy to find really quick, no matter what activity we're doing, right? So now we move into this scan where we just are trying to relax the whole entire body from head to toe so we can achieve a deeper focus. If we have any tension anywhere, we're not going to be able to focus as deeply as we could, right, without that tension. So this is why right here at this point we put a body or healing scan. Use any of the ones that I've given you, but let's do the Manuka honey one because it's great and it's healing, and if you trust your mind and you realize that your mind has some healing power, that's what you're doing. You can use your own mental power to heal many things in your body. So let's just do that. Imagine that big ball of honey about the size of a baseball at the top of the head, right? By the time we're done with this exercise, that ball of honey will be melted into our whole entire body and healing every portion of ourselves, right? Just slowly start to see it melt. And there it goes, right? It's slowly melting down into your brain, through your skull, right? Through your whole head. Evenly, it's being evenly distributed because it's magic, right? It's this beautiful golden glow that heals anything it comes in contact with. See it, imagine it. There it goes, right? It's reaching down through the brain, now it's passing through the eyes. Just feel the relaxation that comes from this. And just feel your inner self, that inner smile go, ah, right? Passes through the eyes, continues through the rest of the brain, down to the nasal cavities and your nose and all that situation there, through the cheeks, the lower portions of the brain. You feel it come to the mouth, you can almost taste it. Can you taste it? You taste that honey? So sweet and full of healing. Just feel it keep coming down. Let go. Don't let your conscious mind get in the way of this. Oh, this ain't doing anything. No, just let all that bullshit go. Let your mind do the thing. Trust that it will work. Down into the neck. Right? We're going to pick up the speed a little bit here because we don't want to be here all day, but when you're on your own, you take your time with this as much as you have to. And if there's any places where you have any ailments or pains or problems, hang out there, right? Let the magical imaginary honey do its work. If you have some heart problems, hang out at the heart for a while. Let it do the thing there. See it. Feel it. The mind is powerful. It's way more powerful than you know. Heading down through the heart, heading towards the belly. Spend some time there. We hold so much tension and anxiety in our belly chakra, it's crazy. Don't be afraid to let that honey do its thing down there. You feel the whole body relaxing? Hopefully you took care of your arms too as we're passing through, right? I'm just seeing it as all one plane just kind of coming down through the whole body. Passing through the belly, down into the area of the sacral chakra, into the hips and that whole area, down to the legs, the knees, finishing up with the upper legs, moving down into your lower legs. That honey at the top of the head is almost gone. That bowl is almost finished, right? It's almost completely saturated your body. Passes through the lower legs, into the feet, and seals up at the bottom. Just sit with that beautiful golden healing glow just for a few moments, and just feel it healing every single cell in your body, making you healthier, happier, more joyous than with those things. Any of these practices you can work with intensely. Okay, the next one is the Tritaka practice, right? Let's do 5 rounds of this. Do you remember this from the first half of the 7th chapter of Dharana Darshan? If you don't, no big deal. That was a massive headache of that chapter, trying to make sense of all that. But the essence is put your hand out in front of you and just have your pinky up. And look at your pinky nail. And stare at it. And just really try to intensify that focus, because you're about to move your hand out of the way and you're going to try to keep your focus in space, right? With nothing there. And then after a few seconds, when you feel like you're established, pull it away and then go cockeyed the first few times and be like, what's happening? Well, that's what we're trying to have not happen, right? We're trying to have that thing established, and you just hold that focus right there without a thing being there. And this will eventually translate to a thing that you can do internally, which was that next step, if you remember from reading the chapter early on. Hold it for a few seconds. You'll find that after a few times, you'll start to hold it a little bit, but it'll dissipate quickly, right? And then you'll be focused on whatever's beyond it. When you find yourself focused on a thing beyond it, put your hand back up, do it again. This is number 2, right? Focus on that pinky nail. And pull it away. A lot of times when we're kids, we do things like this, right? Like by accident. We don't really, we're not even thinking about what we're doing. Pull it away and just sit there. Hold that space. Focus right in that spot where it was. Did you lose focus yet? All right, let's try a third time, right? This is number 3. Just do 5 of these. And hold them as long as you can. Plays some funny tricks with your eyes though, doesn't it? These are all preliminary practices leading up to Dharana. Remember, we have Dharana, and then comes Dhyana, and then we have Samadhi, right? And then we're starting to reach that ultimate goal. And there are different types of Samadhi. Let's try it again. I don't know, was this 4 or 5? I've lost count. We'll do one more and then we'll bail, okay? You know what you got to do. Let's hold that. Try to really hold it this time. That'll do it. While you're doing this, try to keep your breathing, go slow, long, deep, right? Through all these practices, that's what we're always working towards, slower and longer and deeper breaths, right? So we did our bow, we did our chakra mala, we did our healing scan or body scan, and then we did Tritaka, right? Only 3 more things left. The next one is pranayama, right? We've learned a number of different types of pranayama. We learned a pranayama with 3 chakras where we we attached a mantra to it, right? The Om Mani Padme Hum mantra we attached to it. If you haven't seen the video yet, Om Mani Padme Hum, go check that out. There's a ton of information in there for you about that. And if you haven't seen that particular meditation, just look back through the other lives, the other live streams, and it's in there. So, but we'll go through one real quick. We'll use the 3 chakra pranayama, but anything that I labeled as a pranayama, feel free to use that. We did the pranayama from Rudrananda, where it comes into the forehead and down through the whole psychic system, what he called the psychic digestive system, if you remember that one. That was slightly more complex. But for today, we're just going to use that 3 chakra one that we did with Om Mani Padme Hum, and we're not even going to mess with the mantra today, right? So just relax, sit up straight. Place your focus down at the bottom chakra, Muladhara, root, right, at the perineum. And breathe in. So long, deep. Hold it for a quick second and exhale and follow up your spine to your heart center. Hang there for a sec. Now breathe in at the heart. And on the exhale, follow it up to the third eye. Hold. Breathe in at the third eye. Now exhale. Feel that energy exit the top of the body and surround you. Back to the bottom. Inhale at the root center at the bottom. Hold. Exhale and follow it up to the heart. Just travel right through your spine. Now inhale at the heart. Hold. Exhale up to the third eye or Ajna chakra. Inhale at the Ajna. Hold. Exhale. Feel it come out the top of your head and surround your whole body in like a toroidal field. All right. 2 or 3 more. In at the bottom. Hold. Exhale. Up to the heart. Inhale at the heart. Hold. Exhale. Up to the third eye. Inhale on the third eye. Hold. Exhale at the top of the head. One more. Inhale at the bottom center. Hold. Exhale up to the heart. Inhale at the heart. Hold. Exhale up to the third eye. Hold. Inhale at the third eye. Then finally exhale out, and it showers around you. And that's it. When you're on your own, that's going to go much quicker. If you want to do more, you can do more. I'd say do at least 5. Now, do you not feel lighter, a little healthier inside, a little more aware? This is supposed to take the energy that's in you that's stagnating and move it all out and bring new stuff in, right? We're bringing new energy in and we're letting old, stale energy out. And you find that this process of flushing definitely does a thing, and that's what we're looking for. Cool? So we had the bow, we had the chakra mala, we had the scan, we did tritaka, and we did pranayama. And now we're ultimately going to do, I know you know what it is, Dharana, right? We're going to focus. We're going to focus up at the top of the head. Or if you picked your own meditation device that you want to use from the beginning, like we did that whole chapter, you can use that as well. But staying at the top of the head is really a good one, and it's really safe, and lots of teachers teach it. And if you find at some point that something calls to you to use differently, that's good. Use that for your Dharana, for your focus process, right? So, but for now, let's just get up on the top of the head. And we're just going to do 5 minutes up there, okay? Just sit up nice and straight. Keep breathing slow, long, deep. And just keep your focus at the top of the head. This is your special quiet time, so use it. And I'm going to use a timer. Try not to move at all. Let the thoughts go like clouds. Don't attach. Don't feel bad. Just keep letting them go, no matter what they are. Make sure to keep your eyes relaxed. Just let them point right in front of you or point up at the third eye a little bit, but just let them be relaxed and keep your focus at the top of your head, not your eyes. Two more minutes, hang in there. And that'll do it. That's 5 minutes of Dharana practice. Hope that was okay. So 5 minutes, try to do, we're trying to expand this. Add 2 minutes a week. You know, make it 7 minutes next week. Or I don't know where you're at or what you've been doing, but just work with yourself and just keep trying to grow it a little by little, just like we do in music. In music, we don't play things blazing fast the first time we play them. We play them super slow, and every week we add a little bit more time, right? So that's what you want to do. You want to expand that over time. Try to get up to a half an hour, you know? That's really what we're looking for. That's the magic spot when we can grow it beyond that later. But trying to get to a half hour is where when we get to a half hour, we've really established a deep practice at that point. We're really getting stuff done, you know? And if you do it twice a day, and that's the other thing, try to do this twice a day, beginning of the day and a day. If you can't do that, just do it once. If you have to do it short, but whatever you can put it in, you know? Just, I give outlines of what to try to do, right? But that doesn't mean that's what has to be done. You do what works in your life. We don't lead the lives of Himalayan yogis. We live American, most of us, normal lives with tons of stuff going on. You have to work within your own parameters. But just try to make sure that each week you're improving a little bit more, just extending it out a little bit more, whichever practice you're working with harder. Just keep it growing. So we got the bow, we got the chakra mala, we got the scan, we got the tritaka, the pranayama, and the dharana. And then the final thing is just another quick bow and thanks. A quick bow, thank you, could be internal, could be external, all the same rules apply. If there's anything that you're trying to have happen in your life, anything you're trying to have manifest, anything that you need, now's the time to visualize it, ask for it, whatever. This is, you'll have your deepest connection with all that is when this is all over. That's the time to try to communicate with your higher self, your holy guardian angel, God, whatever it is that you want to call it, right? In truth, it's just another part of you, right? So just do the best you can with all of that, and that's it. That's a whole entire practice. If you have any curiosities or any questions or how to intertwine other practices we've done with this, anything at all, please feel free to hit me up, okay? Just try to put together a little practice for yourself. If you want me to put this document online that I made for my own ability to convey it to you guys, I can do that. If anybody's interested, just let me know. Obviously, it's also in the video. I've said it at least 7 times now, right? So that's it for my little presentation today. I hope you found that peaceful and beneficial. And just do what you can. The energy right now is one of change. You can feel it. Anybody who's been doing this stuff for a while can feel that there's something really different going on. And it's a very potent time to change. It's a very potent time to connect with all that is. Once again, use whatever words you need to, but just to make our lives a little more established and deeper and more meaningful. That's what we're trying to do here. So do your best to try to do that. And that's it for today. I love you guys very much. Thank you for hanging out. The video will be up later. If you ever want to go through this again exactly the same way and practice it a little more, please do so, okay? And I have other cool videos coming about a lot of different topics involved, all about the different things that we're doing, okay? All right, love you guys. Sarve Bhavantu Sukhi Naha. May all be happy. I'll see you next week, same time, okay? Be good out there. Before I go, any questions? Does anybody need anything? Mia, you are welcome. You're more than welcome. Tina, you as well. Anybody else need anything? Any questions at all? I'll wait the magic 6-second delay time to see if anything comes in. All right. Well, then that'll do it. You guys all know my email, I think. If you need anything, just feel free to hit me up, okay? Alrighty, everybody have a great week. I'll see you soon. Love you bunches.